Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to this live stream webinar. I'm Kathleen Taylor with the Nevada Women's Business Center, and it is such a pleasure to have one of our key resource community partners here with us today, Ms. Paola Gonzalez, and she is with the Nevada State Development Corporation. So, Paula, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Really appreciate it. Paul is the Vice President of Business Business Development Officer for the Nevada State Development Corporation. So, Paula, could you share with the audience like an overview of what the company provides?
Sure. So Nevada State Development Corporation is a nonprofit certified development company licensed by the U.S. Small Business Administration. So we help small business owners find fixed asset financing. So pretty much a business owner looking to buy their own commercial property that they'll occupy, we can help finance that through the SBA 504 loan program.
Okay. Well, I find this fascinating because there are business owners and they're looking for commercial property, for their business, and there's a process that goes along with that. So how can, and we were talking about this earlier, how can the business owner become a more educated and more informed business owner to position themselves to then qualify or apply for this type of loan for their business? What is the process that's involved?
So actually, there's a couple of ways. You can reach out to us directly and we can walk you through the process. Most times we get contacted by the bank that the borrower is currently working with, because this program is a partnership between the bank and SBA or NSDC. So if I don't have a partnering bank, I can't offer the program, and if the bank doesn't contact me, they can't offer this program. So really it's about reaching out to us, Nevada State Development Corporation or the bank, and then we start the process going forward on underwriting the loan, making sure that it is SBA 504 eligible. Because again, the program is to purchase fixed assets. So that means a commercial building or any equipment that has a useful life of 10 years or more. If the need is something outside of that box, then we obviously let the borrower know we can't help them, but then we provide them different avenues that they can take to get that financing that they need.
I think that's great, especially, when you are either an established business owner or you're a startup company to have that option. And what are the advantages of the Nevada Development Corporation versus a traditional bank? What are some of the benefits?
So the nice thing about the program is that most business owners only have to come in with a 10% equity injection, which means that the bank will provide 50% of that project cost, and we, representing SBA, provide the other 40%. If you were to go into a bank and say, okay, I want to buy this building, you're probably looking about 25 to 30% equity injection. So really what it's saving you, a lot of money.
Yes.
So you only have to come in with that 10%, and you can keep the rest of the money in the bank. You can use it to hire more employees.
Right.
I mean, you can use it to what fits your business and how you want to do it instead of tying it up in that commercial real estate. The other nice thing is that 40% portion, which is our SBA portion, we provide long-term rates. So for 20 years, for 20 years, that rate is fixed. And our rate, let's say you were to come in today, get approved today, and we could fund your loan today. Our July rate is at 4.7. So that is fixed for 20 years and it does not change, which is very nice. Because again, if you were to go to a bank, most of the time you can get maybe 5-year, 7-year fixed rate terms. And then it's, so essentially it's a variable rate, where with the SBA portion, it is fixed for the life of the loan. So it's a very wonderful product.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Now I have to stipulate there are 2 different scenarios that 10% will bump up. If you have been in business less than 2 years, we consider that a new business. So that equity injection bumps up to 15% instead of 10.
Sure.
And then the second scenario is, let's say that you were trying to buy a gas station. That's considered single purpose. So again, SBA wants you to put in at least 15%. But again, 15 is a lot less than 30,
Yes.
so
Absolutely.
again, a little more, but not as much as if you were to go the conventional route. And the nice thing is you can still benefit from that fixed rate that we talked about earlier.
I think that's phenomenal. And also, I really admire how you and your staff are really embracing how to bring the message to the community. So, could you share with the audience how you've been providing education about the programs that the agency provides in the community?
Definitely. So not only obviously are we the intermediary between SBA and trying to provide the financing, our job is also to promote and educate the community. So we have workshops that we have worked with the city of North Las Vegas. We've done things with the chamber as well. And then sometimes we've even had workshops at banks. Because at the end of the day, we just want to make sure that the community is aware about the program and of the program and its benefits. And then at the end of the day, you as a business owner have a choice, and you make whatever choice is best fits for you and your business. And at the end of the day, if we're all educated, we'd be a better community.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So.
The more informed we are, then on the business owner consumer end, they can make a better informed decision about what resources that are out there. And then on your end, you are an ideal option, for them now that they're educated to make an informed choice.
Exactly.
Now, with that, I'm just curious just about your background. What inspired you to be in this field, in helping entrepreneurs develop themselves in this aspect?
So actually, before joining Nevada State Development Corporation, I was a banker for 19 years.
Wow,
Yes,
that's amazing.
I know. It's a funny
Wow.
story. I thought, I'm just going to go through, get a job as a teller. It'll pay college, and then I'll be done with it. And then I was sucked in. I loved it so much. I worked in the corporate and commercial lending, so I've been lending to small business owners and investors for a really long time. And then this opportunity became available, and it has been a wonderful opportunity. It's very different when you're actually helping the small owner and kind of bringing them to the next step. The gratitude that you get has been amazing. I tell everyone it's nice. Sometimes you have one of those days and then you get a thank you card from your client that you've really changed their business and, for their future and their family's future. So it's been extremely rewarding to see this side of it. And, so it's been a wonderful experience and I've really enjoyed it. Again, just to be able to provide opportunity for people is a nice feeling.
Yeah, it really is. And, we experience the same thing to a degree at the Nevada Women's Business Center. It's very rewarding when you have someone come in with just an idea and then we help them develop that idea into a business and then helping them launch that business or connecting them to resources to help them expand their business. It's like watching a child grow, I think, so thank you so much, guys, for that. So with that, how would in an ideal world, how can business owners connect more effectively with your agency? Would it be setting up an appointment with a counselor? Would it be picking up the phone and having an in-depth conversation? What would be the best strategy for someone to reach out to you guys?
Definitely. I would say start off by picking up the phone and just having a conversation, making sure that this is something that does fit your needs.
Right.
And then after that initial conversation, I can go to your office, you can come to our office. I mean, whatever. At the end of the day, you're a business owner. You're running your business probably during the day, so it's really what's most convenient for you. But yeah, just picking up that phone and giving us a call. And then again, we can navigate you through the system or the process. It's not as horrible as everyone thinks. 15 years ago, everyone thought, SBA, it's going to take forever. But really, the process itself doesn't take as long. The same financial package we will require is the same financial package that the bank is going to require. We do have 5 extra forms that we pre-fill out for you. So really it's a matter of reviewing the forms and signing. So the initial process isn't, stacks of paperwork like it used to be. SBA has really tried to streamline because they understand this is geared towards a small business owner. They shouldn't be wasting their time filling out hours and hours of paperwork.
Right.
We want you to be successful at what you do, and that's running your business. And let us take care of all of the paperwork and and trying to do that. So really that, and then we start, if we see that the financials are there, you have the capacity to be able to repay the loan. We're working again in partnership in conjunction with the bank, and we're underwriting and getting those approvals in. So it's a process, clearly,
Sure.
but it's a process like any type of loan that you're seeking. I can't just grant you $1 million just because you're really nice.
Yes.
There's other things we need to check on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, just give us a call. And again, if there is something that I can't do, we have the ability, and we've built relationship with financial institutions, with you guys as well. So there are different avenues that we can take if the 504 loan program isn't the best fit for you.
And speaking of creating an opportunity for a connection amongst resource partners or even the public, annually you guys have an open house, right?
We do. We actually have an open house, a wine event, we like to call it.
Wonderful.
And then we actually, so that's usually in the fall. And then in February, March, we have a soup event. And so really it's inviting all the resource partners and some of, the business clients that have taken advantage of the program. So then you get to meet. Because at the end of the day, it's all about building relationships.
I agree.
So we
Yes.
want to make sure that those relationships stay strong. And when there is a need, a borrower has a need, that he has or she has an opportunity just to, open up, I don't know, their Rolodex. I know that sounds kind of outdated, their Outlook,
But
and look
still,
to see, okay,
yeah.
this is the person that can kind of help me. Because that's what we're here to do, is just to make sure that we educate, people and everybody is aware of the program and its benefits. And then they can, like you said earlier on, make an informed decision of what fits best for them and their needs.
Now, speaking of which, and I guess this is speaking towards your banking or lending background over the years, what advice would you give an entrepreneur if they are seeking funding, let's just say from a bank, but that bank, that particular bank doesn't fund restaurants? What is your advice for the next steps for that person that's seeking funding that's been denied by one bank, but what is the process?
I would, if you have a good relationship manager, business banker, they should not just tell you a no. They should say, okay, I can't do it, because every bank has a credit policy and a culture that they need to follow. So what might be good for one bank is not good for another. But that doesn't mean that your request is a bad request. It just means it doesn't fit their credit culture.
Right.
So ask your banker that's telling you no and say, okay, well, what banks in town are you aware of
Yes.
that can provide the type of financing? And most of the time, again, it's a small community in the sense that we all know each other and we kind of know, okay, this is what works at this bank, this doesn't. But if that route doesn't work, give me a call. Again, we're here to provide as much information as we can. If I don't know the answer, I can tap into my Rolodex or Outlook and look to see, okay, and then calling your local district office of SBA, because they have a pulse on that information as well, because they do represent SBA. And so they know what banks are actually providing to the restaurant industry or the construction industry. Because again, every bank has their own appetite of what fits. And sometimes it's not that they shy away from a certain industry, it's just that maybe they're tapped out in that type of industry.
Yes.
Because their bucket is full. And so, they don't want a concentration in a certain industry. So sometimes it's just that it's not you as the borrower is not strong enough. It's just they're tapped out themselves. But no, I'd ask questions. Start off with your banker. A good banker will give you the different options that are available.
Yes.
And then if not, call me.
Excellent. And I'm just curious, from your side of things, what are some trends that are going on in business, maybe in emerging industries that you're seeing, or maybe there's a spike in this particular industry that's seeking funding from your agency? Did you notice a pattern that's going on?
A pattern.
Or
Yeah.
maybe not a pattern, but for example, the Raiders are coming to town.
Yeah.
So do you see an influx of people saying that I need funding for this kind of business to anticipate this growth or I need funding for this building to anticipate growth because the NFL and this market is coming to Vegas, or maybe and I know this is like getting into a whole nother conversation, the medical marijuana industry, I mean, that's like, has a lot of implications too. So are you seeing anything that we're not seeing?
So I am getting a lot more phone calls for people who are obviously in the marijuana industry, because now obviously it's become a recreational medicinal sales. But unfortunately, because SBA is a federal program, we cannot provide any type of financing until the federal government changes, their opinion of I guess, the substance. So we can't. So we do get a lot of phone calls on that, because obviously people need large warehouses to be able to grow and things like that. In regards to that, we're all over. I mean, we have,
Good.
which
That's
is nice
great.
because that means that there's a lot of industries that are striving, and that's what we want. But I mean, we have, attorneys, doctors. We seem to have gotten a handful of daycare centers, so that
wow.
seems,
That's great.
and so that, for a while, a few months ago, it seemed like 2 or 3 car washes, gas stations came in, but no, we've seen, we just recently financed a plumbing company.
Oh, excellent.
We're doing a cabinet company now, so it's really just the small business owners from an array of different industries, which is good.
exciting.
Yeah,
Yes.
which is really, really nice to kind of see the differences, because every business is different. So it's nice to, not only obviously hear their stories on how they started, but then just to see them grow. And, some of them obviously were around when the economy tanked, and now they're still here, which is really nice to
Yes.
hear those success stories, because
Yes.
for a long time they were very sad stories.
Yes.
But no, we've been very lucky to be able to help a lot of different types of industries.
Yeah, well, I'm really pleased to be to be a part of an agency that's one of your resource partners, and to see how you've made an impact in the small business sector is really remarkable. And knowing that your agency is definitely an option for business owners to explore as well, with a plethora of benefits. So with this, do you have like any pearls of wisdom that you'd like to share, like in closing, about the resources that your agency offers, and the process of applying for those funds?
Definitely. If any words of wisdom would be prepared,
Yes.
meaning know that that your financials make sense. Unfortunately, sometimes tax returns are something that we require. I mean, we'll typically ask for 3 years of business tax returns, 3 years of personal tax returns, a personal financial statement, and then it seems like sometimes small business owners, we ask for interim, because we need things that are up to date, because we want to have a picture of what you've done so far this year.
Yes.
And so sometimes that has been difficult, and that sometimes will be delayed. And so if we don't have a complete package, we really can't understand your business and see, okay, is it cyclical? How is it doing? I mean, historically it's perfect, but what we want to look at is going forward, where it's at. So just really understanding your financials, because we will have, once we review the financials, we are going to have questions, because we want to try to understand your business. Because as I mentioned before, not every business has the same business cycle.
Right.
And so who best to answer those questions than the business owner, because they know, oh yes, there was a spike in revenues this year or the last 3 months because of X. And so be prepared for that. And then just, call and just ask questions. There isn't, everyone always says it might be too cliche, but there is never a stupid question.
I agree.
I mean, it's so important,
It's
because
never.
sometimes if you don't ask that question, that's when you get stuck. And then
Yes.
there's bumps in the road. And so we want to make sure that we are aware of all of the information as much as possible, because SBA does have certain guidelines that we need to follow. So if we know everything up front, or as much as possible, then we can kind of foresee, okay, wait, this might be an area that we may have to address and mitigate a little more than just, a sentence.
Right.
Because again, we are your advocates.
Yes.
So you have a passion for your business, and we need to be your cheerleader for that when we go into our loan committee. And even when the bank goes into their loan committee, unfortunately, we can't invite you in and, speak on your business.
Right.
So we are speaking on behalf of your business. So I tell everyone, you have the passion, it's in your heart. Translate that to paper, or when we're actually talking,
Sure.
let me know, because again, I have to be that advocate for you, or your banker has to be when they're trying to convince, a loan committee of 5 people why it makes sense to provide you or give you that loan.
And speaking of transferring it to paper, would a business plan or executive summary or even a capability statement, would that, on the business owner's side, they prepare those documents, would that help them to inform you about what their business is about?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Again, the more information that we can have, the better it is for us to be able to advocate for your business. Normally in the application process that I provide, there's a 10-question kind of business profile. What's your business? Who are your biggest competitors? What do you do? Do you foresee any issues in the next 6 months, 12 months with certain regulations changing, things like that. So again, the more information that we have, the better it is for us to be able to make sense, because the numbers can only tell a certain part of the story.
Right.
So we need something else to be able to tell that story. So definitely, and sometimes people don't have a full business plan, which is okay, but that just means that then we'll provide you with additional information or request additional information to be able to fill in those gaps. But it is wonderful. You guys have a wonderful program that you can use. I call it the business plan genie. I know that's probably not the
like
correct, but it is really, really nice. I've shared that with a couple of people who, are starting off. Because when you start off, there's a little more work that you may have to do.
I agree.
Yeah. So if your business has been established for a few years, you have that foundation, that historical information that we can use and then build off of. But when you're starting off, you will have to do a little more work, because it's going to be now projection-based loan instead of something that historically you've been able to prove that your business can handle. So.
Well, yeah, I think this is fantastic information, and if an agency or an organization or an association or even a community center, if they wanted your agency to come in and provide a workshop, then who would they contact for that? Or if someone has any questions about coming in and connecting with you, would you like to share your contact information?
Of course. Yes. So you can reach me at 702-473-6201. You can shoot me an email at pgonzalez, and that's GONZALEZ at nsdc.com, and that stands for Nevada State Development Corporation. Or you can visit us on our website, which might be easier than trying to find a pen now and write all that information, but it's www.nsdc.com, and then obviously that will provide you with all of our contact information, and you can give us a ring that way.
Excellent. Well, I really enjoy short, sweet, to the point, great information, great conversation, great company webinars. And if you would like to contact us on any of our services, please call us at the Nevada Women's Business Center at area code 702-734-3555, or check us out online at www.nevadawbc.com. I'm Kathleen Taylor, and Paula, thank you so much for being here today in your busy schedule. We really appreciate it. Look forward to doing some things with you in the community as well in reference to educational events. And thank you so much for taking the time to watching this live stream. So until next time, take care. Bye.
Thank
Yay!
you.
This was fun. Excellent.
Awesome.